I think it's time we take a look at UFC 270. And I will talk about the rest of the card, however, that's going to be in a future video. But the headliner, Francis Ngannou, the reigning, defending UFC heavyweight champion of the world, facing off against Ciryl Gane, the reigning, defending, interim UFC heavyweight champion of the world. And I find it to be a very interesting matchup. They are former training partners. They have trained together. Both of them have come out and said that in their training they were beating on the other person. Francis Ngannou has been more vocal about that. And I wouldn't really consider that much of a big deal. The reason being they've both developed as fighters in their own right. And they've grown. And I feel like the sense of security Francis Ngannou is feeling due to the training matchups has resulted in him maybe underestimating the potential of Ciryl Gane. Now, I may be completely wrong, and that very well could be the case. Because the power Francis Ngannou possesses is unmatched by anyone else in the UFC. Potentially ever. I cannot readily identify maybe an Anthony Rumble Johnson. I mean, he had power. I don't think he had Francis Ngannou power. Conor McGregor in the featherweight had exceptional power in his own right compared to his contemporaries. But if we're going raw power, hit for hit, there's no one that can match Francis Ngannou's pure power. But you could say the same thing about Ciryl Gane's agility and his movement ability. There's no heavyweight that moves like Ciryl Gane. He moves like a 185er and fights at the heavyweight division. Ciryl Gane's roughly like 247 if I recall correctly. But to be able to move so fluid, so well, that's what separates him from the rest. And that's what assists him in beating the likes of Derek Lewis, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, big names, well-known fighters in the heavyweight division. Some of the top contenders. Derek Lewis was right up there. Everyone thought, hey, that guy's going to be the champion. It didn't happen that way. They fought in Houston. Ciryl Gane dominated him. Derek Lewis did look very timid in the fight. He didn't look like the Derek Lewis, the Black Beast that we know of. But that's not Ciryl Gane's fault. Took advantage of a situation. He dominated a fight. Simple. That's what you got to do in the UFC. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Ciryl Gane is the favorite in this match. Definitively. The reason I say that is we know he could go the distance. He has gone to decision multiple times in 5-round fights. We also know his ability to handle power with the likes of Derek Lewis. Now, yes, he's never seen power to the degree of Francis Ngannou outside of maybe the training that they experienced together. But who's to say Ciryl Gane? Ciryl Gane's going to go in with a game plan. He's going to know what he's going to want to do, and he's going to want to execute his game plan to the best of his ability. The only way I could see Francis Ngannou winning this fight is to be in the first 2 rounds. I think if he goes into the deep water, he's in trouble. And I'm not saying that because Francis Ngannou isn't well conditioned, isn't well paced. He's a large man. You need energy. You exude a lot of energy when you are his size and you are throwing with the ferocity that he's throwing. That could hold him back. So, yes, there has been this ongoing narrative of wanting to take him to the deep water. Ciryl Gane wants to take Ngannou into the 4th and 5th, the championship rounds, to really determine if he can hold it down in a long, drawn-out fight. Ngannou said, oh, I got it. He wants to take me to the deep water. I'll go and I'll swim and I'll do everything I can. But that's not where Ngannou wants to be. That's not where he wants to go. Ngannou loves the highlight reel finishes, the big powered finishes. And that's what he has to try to execute in those first 2 rounds. Because the longer the fight goes out, the more it favors Ciryl Gane. If I were to compare this to boxing, I would say this is Deontay Wilder versus Fury. Wilder, big power puncher, knocks everyone out with that right hand of his. That's Ngannou. Big power puncher, knocks everyone out, puts everyone out cold. Then you got Fury, more technical boxer. He fights very light. What I mean by that is, no, his power isn't lacking. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he fights very light in that his movement, his energy, he knows how to pace himself. He knows how to take a fight into the deep end. And that's where Ciryl Gane is. Just in recent history, Ciryl Gane has gone to decision twice last year in 5-round fights. Let me double check. It was against Rosenstrike and it was Alexander Volkov. Both 5-round decisions, won definitively. You can't look back at those fights and say Ciryl Gane did not win definitively. Although the Jairzinho Rosenstrike fight was boring, why does that matter for Gane? He needs to win a fight, get his paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to go with the decision really going towards Ciryl Gane. And he has also shown the ability to finish people with the finish he had on Derek Lewis, getting a TKO victory. Again, like I said, Derek Lewis did not look like the Black Beast Derek Lewis that we know of. That, in part, has to go with the fact that they fought in Houston. Derek Lewis himself has said that was not the performance that he wanted to put out, and the stress of fighting in Houston was too much for him. And hey, I mean, like I said, that's not Gane's fault. And then if you go look at Francis Ngannou, Francis Ngannou hasn't fought again since Stipe Miocic. Yes, he was dominant against Stipe Miocic. That was last year in March. It's been a layoff. Now, granted, I think the interim heavyweight belt going to Ciryl Gane was kind of ridiculous because Ngannou even communicated with the UFC saying, "Hey, I can't fight. I'm not ready right now. Give me some time." They refused to do so. We got an interim title fight with Derek Lewis and Ciryl Gane. We know how that ended. But man, am I excited. Francis Ngannou versus Ciryl Gane. I want to know who you guys think is going to win. Like I said, I think it favors Ciryl Gane. It's about being able to connect. Can he connect to the jaw of Ciryl Gane? Can Francis Ngannou land that right hand of his? We'll find out. If it goes deep, we'll see. Can Ngannou hang in there? Can he hold on? This is going to be a stand-up war. I'm just hoping it isn't similar to the Derek Lewis versus Ciryl Gane fight, the Jairzinho Rosenstrike versus Ciryl Gane fight, in that the opponent was so scared of Ciryl Gane's stand-up game that they became timid and moved away from their own game. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the other fights on the card in a separate video, but I feel like the headliner, the marquee, deserves its own video. And Ciryl Gane is going to get the victory. I'm going to say it's going to be a decision. If Ngannou wins, it has to be a knockout in the first 2 rounds. It's the only way. I believe in Ngannou, but that's the only way he can win.